Everyone's searching for where the party is. Everyone's asking themselves, when is my moment gonna come? When am I gonna be able to shine and show the world what I can do? Well, what if I told you that you have to create the moment? What if I told you that it wasn't about who you knew, but it was about who you are that actually makes the people that you want to know you? You see, when you're at a restaurant, imagine this scenario, and there's a famous person that you know, and well-known, popular, liked, charismatic person. Most people would try to go up to them directly, sit next to them, kind of look at them. You think they aren't aware of stuff like that? They're aware of fans and potential collaborators. Now, just like the Bible says, that when you're at an event, and when you're at a party, it was an analogy that Jesus said. He says, you don't take the seat up front, the important seats. You should actually sit in the back, because that allows the situation for someone to come up to you and say, hey man, come up here to the front with us. And you're in good favor because they're inviting you instead of you asserting yourself, right? And then someone coming up to you and saying, hey man, actually this is taken for Frank, and so we need you to move. And you're sitting there like, okay, just kind of made myself look like, I was trying to impose myself. So it's the same thing where you don't want to be the hungry-eyed individual. If you have hungry eyes, they can feel it the same way that you can feel it when a homeless person has hungry eyes towards you when you're walking into the gas station and they're sitting right there. I fully believe that you should help them if you're able to, but you can feel them looking at you the same way a celebrity can feel you staring at them. So, like I was saying, in the restaurant simulation here, the celebrity's here. You want to talk to them, go over here, create a whole nother vibe, be boisterous, be loud, not to get their attention, but because you're having a good time, you're creating your own party. The party is with you. Don't chase their parties, because people actually like going after and chasing things, especially people like that. They get so used to people just pandering to their every opinion, that just agreeing with them without actually analyzing what there's being said, just agreeing out of the group think. Or maybe they're afraid of getting in trouble because the person's so rich and powerful and has that status. When you don't have that mindset around them and you're just looking at them as, again, you're almost framing and going, do you fit what I want right now? Like, yeah, you're a great human being, but am I trying to hang out with you right now? Does it even make sense? Like, you want to be the one that's filtering, not the other way around, being like, hey, you want to hang out with me right now? You want to invite them into your vibe. It's very hard to do at first, especially with inexperience, but the whole frame of the situation is, especially like in the situation where, let's say you're invited and you're at the same table as them, and you're at a big long table, and they're here. Most people will try to fight for the spot up here. But if you're down here and you're having a great time and you're not like eyeballing them the whole time with hungry eyes, but you're just enjoying the vibe, they're definitely going to notice that. And then you're coming off as a higher framed individual. The strong frame always wins. Just like a cat likes to chase the laser. If you turn off the laser, you would think that you're helping the cat because the cat looks so anxious chasing after the laser, right? Freaking out over it. The cat likes the challenge. The cat likes playing with stuff. The same way the dog likes doing tug of war. You don't just like stop playing tug of war because the dog's struggling, or always let the dog win. You have fun and struggle back and forth with it. The dogs and the cats like the challenge. Okay, even my bird, Robin, my parakeet, um, he used to, like, to get my attention, would fly around, you know, land on my shoulder, fly over there, fly over here. They like the challenge of, like, I'm like trying to get him and stuff. They like the fun of it. So if you're like that too, not too much. You don't want to be a crazy, insane person, but at the same time, you want to have your own frame where you're in it and you're kind of looking at other people like, do you fit my box? Again, what helps me with that is looking at others, especially in a business scenario, kind of like you employ them and you're paying them hourly, and everything that's being done and said is being paid for by you. So you're not going to be anxious in that environment. If anything, you're going to be more making sure that everyone's on task. But you don't got to worry about that aspect of it. It just takes the anxiety of you being an underling away. Because when you feel like you're the boss, you feel like you have the social approval of everyone. When you have the social approval, when the group tells you that you're a 10 out of 10, it extends your lateral thinking. Your lateral thinking, your basically the storage space that you have to talk, to have ideas in the moment, to think constructively about something, to deeply dive into something and to focus on something, to bring your best A game. And to bring your best A game, you have to be in the frame of mind that gives you the strongest ability to power up. Right? You have to be well rested. You have to be, it's like in Dragon Ball Z, they have to train in the hyperbolic time chamber, right? But if they were to go right after the hyperbolic time chamber and straight into the fight, they get their butt whooped because you need to have rest. So you need to make sure that you stretch yourself to your absolute limit, just like working out, but then rest and mental recovery and be regimented about it. Because if you're not regimented about it, if you're not being distinct and saying, I'm going to do this when I recover, I'm going to do stretches and daily little exercises that help my body, that I'm going to drink this fiber drink that helps my body, I'm going to take these vitamins. You need to be on that because that's going to help you with, again, the storage space in your brain that allows you to operate at your fullest. But you can also do that with your frame of mind, as in there's the eyebrow trick. If you blanking out on all this philosophical stuff, you just kind of focus in on their eyebrow or anything. I can look at right now the wall and just focus in on the wall and maybe a painting or whatever it is you're looking at and really focus in and take over your focus factor in your brain, and then you have no room for anxiety because you're just so focused. Or two, pretend like you're the boss and that you are paying for everyone, so they're basically looking to you for affirmation, even if they're really not. But it takes away that anxiety because you give yourself internal permission to be yourself. So you have to create the moment. Stop waiting for the moment. Don't ask yourself, is this cool? Should I say that? You determine what's cool. You determine what to say, where to take the conversation. Why? Because unless they're a true expert and you're talking, let's say religion, and you're talking to a pastor, maybe zip your lips and listen to what he has to say, ask questions. But when it comes to just conversating and expressing yourself, I mean, you have just as much to say. You has just as much to say as me, and vice versa, as everyone. So if you show people that you're comfortable and confident in your frame and that you are comfortable taking the lead, then they're going to let you, because people secretly want to be led. They want to chase. They want the challenge of figuring you out. They also fill in the gaps too. So what they'll do is when you kind of take over and you show, I'm confident in this situation, I'm going to take my frame and be strong right now. What they do is they fill in the gaps and they go, wow, they must be this way. He must do that. So it takes care of it for you. Now you should do those things anyway. But you don't have to worry about them seeing through you and you being an imposter for being confident or anything like that. We are all just the same. We all eat a couple meals a day. We all watch our shows, or if you don't, then you read your books or you do some form of entertainment. You have hobbies. You go to sleep. You all shower. You brush your teeth. We're all the same. We're just grown children, and the most successful process is done regimentally, that benefit society the most value are the people that make the most resources. So you just need to learn off of those patterns and apply it to yourself. But their expression, just because they have $10 million, doesn't mean that it's any better than yours. So bring your own flavor. Don't be a people pleaser. If you're a people pleaser, then that means that you're falling into their frame because you're afraid that they're not going to view you a certain way. If you say no, or if you do this, or if you say that, just say what you want without a second thought. You should be so busy at doing so much, like a flurry of so much excitement, not even out of anxiety. You're just excited to be alive and think happy thoughts. That when you have a negative thought, it's an invader. So you kick it out, it's gone. You're in charge of your mind. But two, you should have so many positive thoughts on the way next that you don't have time for that. It just gets drowned by the positivity. And also, you are not 10 out of 10. Because if you're 10 out of 10, someone can always beat you. Okay, let's say I'm jacked, I'm completely ripped, or I'm super smart. Someone just may have done it longer, or it may be genetically better. Don't base yourself on any metric that has a gatekeeper, which means that someone can outdo you in it. You should be one of one. You are the best because you are you. And this is great because you can rely on this because it's biblical. God, the Heavenly Father, designed you and knew every strand on your body and the top of your head before you were even created. He had it all lined up, and he loves you so much that he sent his only son to die for you on the cross and resurrect and go through all that pain. So you have to realize how much you're loved and how much you're unique. So God doesn't want you to doubt that. That's the enemy making you doubt that so that you're unsure. When you're unsure, you do multiple things, or you kind of do this and you do that, and you stop here and you stop there. When you do that, you don't get any traction. Even if I were to start playing piano, and I don't even want to be a piano player, but if I did it every day and I practice every day, I'd get really good at it because of repetition. You are what you repeat. So, now that doesn't mean that we're not saved through grace, like if you do something bad, or that you can become someone better if you did something bad in your past. A lot, if you repeated it a lot. But still, you are what you repeat. If I steal a lot of stuff, I'm a thief. By a lot, you know what I mean? If I lie a lot, I'm a liar. So, even if you do it once, you are that thing. But really, the repetition creates the identity. It shows overall what your actions are. Like the fruits will show, on the tree, what you really thought. And the same with your actions. So if you are trying to act confident and it's not coming off correctly, it's because you really don't believe it. So what you need more experience. If you have more experience in the water, you're going to get used to the temperature. At first, it's going to be super cold. And you're going to be like, oh my God. It's like you're shaking. You can't control it. And that's fine. You don't have to understand it. It doesn't have to make sense. You just need to stay in the water so that you get used to the temperature. Just like you don't need to explain or make a logical sense out of what you're doing for it to work. You just need to continue doing it because you are what you continually do. And if you continually do what you want to become, then you will become what you want because you continually do what is necessary to become it. Reverse engineer it. Start from where you want to become. Choose that identity. Then repeatedly do the actions. Don't even look at the evidence. It's lies. Because you're looking at the dirt, but you don't know what's going on beneath the dirt. So it's lies, right? You're like, nothing's happening. Keep working. Keep giving it water or it's never going to sprout. Dude. So it is working. Just be patient. It's the enemy trying to get you to stop watering the seed before it sprouts. Because once you see it sprout, you're never going to stop. Once you get good at a skill, you usually don't really ever put it down. If I learn how to do the violin really good, I'm going to pick it up every once in a while and show someone just because it's cool. So, the enemy doesn't want you to see the fruits in them growing. So keep going, even if you don't see it sowing. It's all knowing. And with that, I'll be closing. Subscribe.